back, boxing fans. It's another Tuesday, which means another chapter of Hajime no Ippo, the best manga on the market right now, in my opinion. We are on round 1477 limit line. These are the last few chapters of one of the top 5 fights in the entire series, in my opinion. Before we dive right in, quick top 5 would go Takamura vs. Hawk, Ippo vs. Sendo 2, Volg vs. Elliot 3, Ippo vs. Sawamura 4, and then Mashiba vs. Rosario 5. That's my top 5 right now. Fight me on it if you want. I'll stick by my opinions. So we pick up where we left off last week, round 7, the first round of the second half, but it's looking like the last round. Both fighters at the peak of exhaustion. Now in round 7, who will be the one to force open the door of fate by old George Morikawa? And we get Rosario right off the bat. He's looking like shit. His eyes are all messed up. He can barely look straight. He's breathing everywhere. Unfortunately for us, Mashiba's not looking all that much better. He's had this kind of glazed over look in his eyes for a few rounds now, which is kind of concerning me. We get this nice panel kind of showing them from underneath. I think it really emphasizes just the exhaustion, like they're swirling in space in this fight here. And then in the second page, we get a brutal spread as both of them connect. Mashiba with a left, Rosario with a right, so both of their weaker hands. They both get this sort of hook motion in. Blood is erupting across the ring. This is a fight that's going to have repercussions. I don't think these two are getting out of this one without some long-term injuries. Mashiba, you can even see his mouth just shooting spikes of blood out. Oh, it's rough. It starts with a huge exchange, the announcer says. Both fighters are knocked back. Mori loves doing this, like drawing the no head as their heads are just whipped from one another. And this chapter is just a lot of action. There's a lot going on here. They must be reaching their limit. I like this panel a lot because it really looks like they're just giving everything that they have. Both of them are knocked back. Mashiba springs back up himself. Rosario does the same, and they both go in. Rosario with the right, Mashiba with the left again. They keep going. Mashiba lands the left, that hook, right on his temple, it looks like, or maybe even his chin. But Rosario tanks the hit, pulls back, and gets this sort of half uppercut, smashing Mashiba's head back, and the return hits. Mashiba doesn't back down though, and he goes for a right, and it ends up as a cross as Rosario goes for a left. And it looks like Mashiba's hits a little deeper here, the reach difference. So I think he's getting a little bit ahead in the exchange. They're trading blow for blow, and the audience asks, why don't they dodge? Are they just that stubborn? No, they can't dodge anymore. So this is just horrific. These two are really not in good shape at this point. We get another shot of both of their faces just exploding with blood. They're at their limit, and this harkens back to the chapter title, right? We know that we're not going beyond this round. Everything says we're not going beyond this round. There's just no way. So it's a battle of wills, Aoki says. Whoever's spirit breaks first, says Itagaki. But then we get Sendo, who I think is really representing the audience here. Just finish him off already. He's screaming in favor of him. Ippo sees that this is the key moment too, and it sort of reminds me of how everyone kind of clued in that Takamura was going to win back when he beat Hawk. They were all like, oh god, we have to go, we have to cheer right now. Ippo's got the pose, give him your strength, go for it. And this is one of the best chants in a while. Go for it, Mashiba, 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 Mashiba. Everyone is screaming. The whole audience is going buck wild for Mashiba. Rosario's coach is shrinking under the pressure, right? Ugh. And Mashiba's coach, are you listening? Can you hear them? And we just see the two men go at it some more. The arena is heating up. At the center of that flame are these two warriors exchanging punch after punch. And you just see the Mashiba ringing them as he lands, I think, a left and no, it's actually a left on a left. So some hits off there. Yeah, it looks like Rosario's not throwing his, oh no. Yeah, it looks like Rosario is throwing lefts now. He was throwing rights before, right? Yeah, he's throwing rights here. Okay, then a left, and then from here he's just throwing the lefts again. So they go into another exchange. Oh, hold on. Let's just get the bottom of this. They get another big hit off on one another, and they go into another exchange. Mashiba has the overhand right coming, kind of, and Rosario with a right of his own coming from a downward irregular motion. I like this line. As if stacking stones on the cairn to mark their graves, they sound out punch after punch, and we see Mashiba connect with his right, but he gets hit by a right in exchange. Who will break down first? How far will this go? How far can this go? As they exchange another punch, both of them are staggering. You see the teeter and the wobble effects. Their limiters have long since broken off. Their thresholds are already passed. And this is by far the best we've ever seen Mashiba fight. Even against Garcia, he wasn't this good. Rosario is strong. I'm going to take a quick second and talk about that. But we were talking about it on the Reddit today. Rosario is a strong fighter. We're actually seeing a very nerfed version of him because he had essentially no preparation coming into the fight. And his mentality during the fight seems like that's not something he would let happen again. Mashiba has to pull everything out in order to win this, and they're beyond anything we've seen him do so far. So, the ring is an absolute inferno. Is it a hell roasting their spirits, or is it the heat of their resurrection? In any case, we're moments away from Judgment Day. And it seems like Mashiba dodges a right from Rosario while landing his own right at the same time. One key hit, and we get everyone's luck. Mashiba's coach, Rosario's coach, Ippo, Kumi, the Kamigawa gym. We see Kimura tearing up, Sawamura, Sendo, Miyata. And Mashiba, he goes for another one, but he's down. Rosario is down again. And the arena erupts. Everyone goes. I love this page. The fist is just so well placed. I could just hear the crowd screaming. He's finally done it. He has finally brought Rosario down. Ippo hugs Kumi, who is bewildered, right? She's seeing her brother accomplish his lifelong dream. She's seeing the man she respects the most in her life reach the highest point, or so she thinks. The Kamigawa gym, again, they're going for it. I just love how beat up Kimura is here. Sendo is cheering, and here you can even see Sawamura has a smile. Like, what are the chances of that, right? The coaches are having their reaction. He's down. Is this the end? And we see Rosario get on his knees. Now, he's on all fours rather. Pay attention to this, the way that he looks here, the body language. Again, I mentioned this a few times in the past two videos, but this is a direct callback. It has to be. This is how Mashiba ended his fight against Ippo. On all fours, still crawling, still wanting to fight, but he couldn't. And so Mashiba thinks to himself, are you fucking kidding me? How are you still moving? Damn it, my fists are spent. But then he tells himself, it's fine. It doesn't matter if it's a blunt sword. I just have to smash your face in with it as many times as it takes. So before we go on, because this ends on a great joke, but before we go on, Mashiba mentally is fine to keep fighting here. That's what tells me this is over. We had the key celebration pages, and we have the callback. The perfect callback to end it. If there's one more thing that Morikawa wants to kind of to have a perfect Morikawa ending, it's this. So Mashiba looks over his shoulder on the last dregs of consciousness, and what does he see? Ippo hugging Kumi. So this could go one of two ways. Here's my bet. We're gonna finally get the acknowledgement moment. Mashiba has said as much as anyone else, it took so much help to get to this point, and Ippo himself is such a huge part of that. Not only does he look after Kumi, something Mashiba himself has acknowledged, but Ippo is the only reason Mashiba was as prepared as he was for this fight that has brought him to his very limit. So it's funny because this is, I mean, come on, look at it. It's Mashiba in a world title fight, seeing Ippo on Kumi. It's a great gag. I have to admit it. But I think he ends up saying something along the lines of like, fuck you, Ippo, but thank you for taking care of her. And I think he gives them like the nod. I think he gives them the head nod, like, hey, we did it, man. Unfortunately, break next week, so we're gonna be back in 2 weeks. Great fight, great fight. I'll try and get another video out in the meantime. But I've been having a lot of fun making these, so I'm going to keep going. And that was 1477. Thanks, guys. Peace. See you next time. Farewell. Good night. Goodbye. Good evening. Whatever.